This is the plaintiff, LaTanya McGriff. She says she hired the defendant to install new floors in the bedroom of her house. And a week after he was done, all these problems started cropping up. They squeaked when you walked on them. There were big gaps forming. And now the boards are actually lifting up from the subflooring below. She gave the guy a chance to fix the floors, and he never showed up. That's why she's suing for the $3,357.77 she's owed. This is the defendant, Stephen Clark. He says he put down the floors, thought everything was all right because he never got a complaint, and was shocked when he got served this lawsuit. Besides, the job was done a year and a half ago, and if there were any issues, he would have fixed them, but he won't refund her money. He's accused of being creaky.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff hired the defendant to install new floors, and it was a disaster. There were boards lifting up, gaps, you name it. But the defendant says she never complained, and a year and a half later, anything could have happened. It's the case of you give bad wood.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, LaTanya McGriff, you are suing Stephen Clark for $3,357.77 to replace floors that he put in some time ago that, according to you, were not put in correctly.
Yes,
okay.
Your
Tell me
Honor.
what happened.
Hi. Well, I hired Mr. Clark in July of 2013 to put laminated floors in my bedroom. It was a gift from my mother.
A gift from your mother?
Yes, it was a gift from my mother.
The laminated floors in your bedroom? Okay.
Yes. And he told me that he was qualified to do this type of
How did you
job. meet
him, or how did you
We
find
were
him?
friends.
Oh, you were actually friends before?
Yes.
Okay.
So maybe weeks or 2 or 3 weeks after he laid, I started seeing little things. And as he was actually...
When he laid the floor, it looked good at first?
Not everything.
Okay.
Once you see the pictures, in the corner on the edges, he did, what do you call it, the trimming, which I didn't necessarily have to have trimming, because everybody whose floors that I see, they take the baseboard up and take the floors under the baseboard.
And he did what? He put cord around?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like a half an inch away from the wall. And every time that I would come in my bedroom and say, "What are you doing? Why didn't you take that all the way to the edge?" I know what I'm doing. Just go in the other room.
What would be the reason that what reason did he give you? Did he say it's going to expand? It's this? Did he give you a reason?
Yes, he said that the floors are going to expand. He's leaving space for the wood to move, and it's really moving.
Okay.
So
All right.
a lot of places in the floor have cracks, and then you have like where it comes to a hill where it's buckling.
Do you have
And
pictures of all that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. When were these pictures taken?
I took some as recent as a few days ago, as recent as 4 months ago, as recent as maybe a month after it happened.
Yeah, two.
Yeah. Two.
Lisa keeps texting you. She wants to know how it's going.
He knows Lisa very well, too.
That's hysterical. Okay. Let me hear from you.
She inquired, we was out, and I was showing some pictures. So she said her mother wanted a floor done. So she introduced me to her mother, went to her house, introduced me to her mother. We went over details about putting the floor in. I did the job. She wanted the quarter round molding, so she didn't want I didn't have to remove the molding from the wall. So she wanted quarter round molding done.
She asked you to put quarter round molding in?
This is what her mother wanted, yes.
Wait, who asked you to put quarter round molding in? Her mother or her?
The mother. I dealt with the
Is your mother here?
Your Honor, no, my mother's not here, but she is waiting by her phone in case you have to.
No,
I do have a letter from her.
No, this is a trial.
Yes.
Why didn't your mother come? You're local. Why didn't your mother come?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, my mother actually was disgusted with me.
Go on.
because-
Let's just put the quarter round to a side because there's a lot more problems than that. I'm looking at wood that is literally separating. Each of these planks are separating from each other. That shouldn't be. What's going on?
It's a locking floor.
It's a what?
It's a tongue and groove. It
Yes,
locks
tongue and
in.
groove. The tongue is supposed to be in the groove.
Yes.
Take a look and tell me why that's happening.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Well, but you see that it's happening, right?
I did this floor over maybe it was a year and a half now ago.
A year and a month.
To this day.
And how long have you been complaining about it?
Running from the day he left.
And when did you file a lawsuit?
I filed the lawsuit last week because I harassed him for the longest time, and I was just done with it.
Okay. What is your response to that?
When I went to the house, she said, "You see this quarter-round molding? I was at somebody else's house. They don't have this." I explained to her. I said, "Well, this..."
Okay, just stop a second.
Okay.
We're going to ignore the quarter-round molding. I'm going to assume they begged you for a quarter-round molding.
No.
Let's just talk about the rest of the floor that's a disaster. The tongue and groove is not tongue and grooving. It's separated by like half an inch. How
When
is
I
this?
visited that house, I didn't see that.
Okay.
None of that. The only issue was about the quarter-round molding she didn't want.
Give me your phone. Where's your phone? Come over here. On Friday, April 25th, you say, "So here's what I'll do. I'm having someone fix the spots on the floor that are not right, tell you how much that costs." And then you send him numerous pictures. That is in April. They're texted to you. So
When I went by, there was no separation of the floor.
okay, sweetheart,
and I'm
are you
saying-
listening to me? In
Yes, I'm-
April, I don't really care. I don't care if it was that day or another day or what. It's April, and she's texting you, and she's giving you a chance to make it right. And she doesn't sue you until July or August after that April. So don't you? Why are you looking at me like a doe caught in the headlights, like you didn't know because nobody ever told you that we were having this problem? I see she texted you about that in April. Why didn't you fix it in April? That's my question.
That's April of
2014.
14.
Yeah, 4 months ago. Why didn't you go fix it?
So she waited a year or so to sue. Does that ruin her case?
I don't know. That's a good question because if
Thank you.
know, well, I think she should probably win this case
Because?
well, I don't know. Sometimes you can kind of feel out of the floors where it's just I don't think she
Dude, this isn't wood. Okay, so should she win waiting a year?
No.
Really?
Like you said, I mean, anything could have happened, so
But the wood, anything could have happened? Seriously?
I'd say he's really bad at installing floors, so.
But she waited a year.
Well, it shouldn't do that after a year.
That's what I think. Going inside the courtroom.
I went there, and there was no issue of separation on the floor. I see it now in the pictures.
No, you saw it in April. When you saw it in April, what'd you do about it? Go on, we know.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay.
Right? That's why you're being sued.
Right.
Yeah. Why did this happen?
I never had any issues with no separation of a floor.
Did you ever talk to the manufacturer out of curiosity?
No, Your Honor, I did not. I know when I purchased the wood, they told me
You
that
originally were suing for $1,500 until about 5 minutes ago. Then you amended your lawsuit to over double that. Why is that?
because the estimates that I got from the guys that came to estimate my floor, I was under the assumption that they could reuse some of the wood. They told me absolutely not. They would not do the wood. I mean, they would not do my floors and replace it with the wood.
Why?
They said that because, first of all, it would be too difficult for them to do that, and they would have to number every little section and piece, and they said they don't do work like that. I would have to purchase all new wood, and they said you can call them to verify that.
First of all, this isn't wood, right?
Yeah, well,
This isn't wood. This is a
I'm
wood
calling it
laminate
wood,
product,
yeah.
kind of. Okay. Did you ever get any estimates to repair it? I know those guys said they wouldn't repair it. Did you ever get any other estimates from other people to repair it?
Yeah, but they were not. They didn't have businesses and not qualified, so
You're
I don't
worried-
want to go through this again. So I went
What
through
were
a
they
company.
saying it would cost to repair it, and how would they propose to repair it? Just out of
They
curiosity.
all they said to me was that they would try. So this is from the assumption of them looking at the pictures. They didn't actually come to my home. These guys actually came to my home. They said from the pictures they could try to save some of the wood. So I asked the guys that estimated, the two guys that gave an estimate, could they do that? And they said absolutely not.
This can't be your best work, my friend. It just can't.
No.
I don't believe that you can't save any of that wood. That just doesn't make sense to me. I realize that in trying to fix everything, you're going to lose some of the wood. That I agree with. I am going to order a judgment in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of $1,500. That is my judgment. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See what the defendant has to say for himself coming out here on the losing end of this case. You saw the plaintiff collected $1,500 here.
Yes. I mean, if you're a homeowner, you should handle your own business and not let your kids handle it for you.
That's the problem? That's what went wrong? What about your work?
Pretty much, she signed.
What about the craftsmanship?
The homeowner signed off on it. As you see, from my pictures when the floor was installed. It wasn't left like that.
Well, even the judge said this is probably not your best work. You agree with that?
It was my best work. I know I didn't leave it like that. You know, I don't know what happened afterwards.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so step on in here. You didn't get everything you sued for, but you satisfied how this happens? Comes out?
Yeah, I'm satisfied. Well, at least I got something. So,
Yeah.
and if he thinks that was his best work, then nobody should hire him for any work at all.
You did?
Never again.
Yeah, well, how did you come up with him in the first place?
Because he was a friend of mine, and he was out of work at the time, and I wanted him to do the job because he was out of work.
Mm-hmm. He said he didn't leave it like that.
Well,
What'd you do to it afterward?
I must have ate it.
Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, you know, the reason for the $1,500 instead of giving her the full amount is that some of the wood can be salvaged.